After the dramatic moment in Parshas Vayigash, where Yosef reveals himself to his brothers, he requests from his brothers that they go up to his father, to their father, Yaakov, and tell him that he's still alive and what he has become in Mitzrayim, the power that he's been given, the influence that he has, and the respect that he commands from Paro and from all of the people in Mitzrayim in Egypt, how he has become the source of sustenance for so many. And then he has a request. He says, please tell my father that I want him and I want all of you, meaning his brothers, to move here, to move to Mitzrayim. And don't worry, v'yashavta be'eretz Goshen, you will live in the land of Goshen, and thereby v'hayisa karov elai, you will be close to me. Where is Goshen? Goshen is on the outskirts of Mitzrayim. Figuratively, it's not within Mitzrayim, within Egypt, but close enough that Yosef would be able to visit them and they would be able to visit him. And the question is, why did Yosef decide to settle his brothers and his father in Eretz Goshen as opposed to having them right in the heart of Mitzrayim, in the heart of Egypt? So Chazal explained that Yosef understood very well the types of pressures that existed and the moral decay that existed within Egypt and Mitzrayim. It was difficult enough for him to raise his sons Ephraim and Menashe, that he understood that the brothers should not have been put in this position for their children. And so he says, if I keep you at a safe distance, you won't be influenced. But Rav Meir Mishalan has another suggestion. He says that the reason why Yosef kept his brothers at a safe distance was because he wanted to be close to them. So if you want to be close to someone, why do you keep them a distance away from you? So he explains very beautifully that there are certain times that in order to be close to someone, we have to keep them a distance away. Yosef was concerned that if his brothers were too close to him, then physically, then he was going to become distant from them emotionally. One wonders what the relationship was like between Yosef and his brothers after he revealed himself until Yaakov died. Well, we see after Yaakov died. At the end of Parshas Vayechi, in next week's Parsha, Yosef's brothers thought that he was going to take revenge upon them. Obviously, their concern was still present. Their relationship had not become repaired so much that they no longer were concerned about Yosef taking revenge upon them. So it would seem that there was still a significant distance and stress within the relationship of Yosef and his brothers, even though we don't see it within the Psukim. And so Rav Meir Mishalan explains that Yosef wanted to make sure that his heart was close to his brothers, and because of that, he couldn't have them living physically close to him. And similarly, he wanted his father to understand that they weren't going to be fighting. And so by virtue of keeping his father together with his brothers and keeping them in a place where he can safely visit them but be at a distance, this way his father wouldn't have to worry that, perhaps Yosef, because he's living with his brothers, because they're so nearby, perhaps they'll get into a fight like they did in the past. This way Yaakov could rest, could be at peace, and so could Yosef be at peace, and so could the brothers be at peace. This is a very practical application to our lives. There are times in our own lives when there are people that we've had interactions with that have caused us struggle, that have caused us pain, and we can no longer be as close to them as we once had. But in order to keep some kind of connection, some kind of relationship, we need to have a distance with them, albeit we can still have some connection. We can be close on an emotional level, but far away or distant on a physical level. Sometimes that happens even with our own family members. We need to make sure that when it comes to our relationships, we understand that distance is not always a bad thing. Sometimes distance is something that is needed in order to give us the proper frame of mind, the proper peace of mind, and in order to keep peace, keep shalom within a relationship and within a family. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbos.